There is something undeniably fascinating about prison escapes. They captivate our imagination because they represent the ultimate challenge, breaking out of a place specifically designed to keep people locked inside. For some prisoners, escaping isn't just about regaining freedom, it's about outsmarting the system, defying the odds, and proving that no prison is truly inescapable. While many escape attempts end in failure, some prisoners have managed to pull off incredible breakouts that still baffle authorities to this day. These stories are more than just acts of defiance. They are feats of engineering, careful planning, and raw determination. From an island fortress that was considered impossible to escape, to a wartime prison break that defied all odds, to a group of highly dangerous men who seized control of their high-security prison. These are three of the most daring and legendary prison escapes in history. The Alcatraz escape, 1962. The impossible prison break. Alcatraz Federal Penitentiary, also known as The Rock, was a fortress-like prison located on an isolated island in the cold, turbulent waters of the San Francisco Bay. It was built to house the most dangerous and unmanageable criminals in America, men who had already proven too violent or unpredictable for other federal prisons. Authorities believed Alcatraz was escape-proof. The prison was surrounded by frigid waters with powerful currents, and escapees would have to swim nearly 1.5 miles to the nearest shore. The cells were built with reinforced steel bars, and each inmate was subjected to constant head counts and patrols. But despite these overwhelming challenges, 3 prisoners managed to pull off the impossible. The masterminds behind the escape were Frank Morris and the Anglin brothers, John and Clarence. Morris was a career criminal with an IQ of 133, making him one of the smartest inmates in Alcatraz. The Anglin brothers were skilled at breaking out of jail, having escaped from multiple prisons before being transferred to Alcatraz. Their plan was as clever as it was daring. The trio spent months secretly digging holes behind the air vents in their cells, using nothing more than spoons and metal tools stolen from the prison workshop. Every night, they chipped away at the concrete, widening the holes just enough for a person to crawl through. To cover their work, they created fake vent covers, using cardboard, and painted them to match the walls. But they had an even bigger problem. The prison guards conducted nightly bed checks. To fool the guards, they built incredibly lifelike dummy heads out of soap, toilet paper, and real human hair collected from the prison barbershop. On the night of their escape, June 11th, 1962, they placed these decoys in their beds, making it appear as though they were fast asleep. Once out of their cells, they crawled through a ventilation shaft and made their way to an unused service corridor. They climbed 30 feet up a network of pipes, broke through a ventilator on the roof, and carefully made their way down to the shore. They had spent months preparing for the dangerous swim ahead. Using stolen raincoats, rubber cement, and contact cement, they had built a makeshift raft and life vests. The men paddled into the freezing waters of the San Francisco Bay, disappearing into the night. By the time guards discovered their absence the next morning, it was too late. The largest manhunt in Alcatraz history began, but the men were never found. The FBI spent 17 years investigating their disappearance, concluding that they had likely drowned in the bay. However, over the years, multiple reports and alleged sightings of the Anglin brothers have emerged. Some believe they escaped to South America and lived out their lives in hiding. Even today, the fate of Frank Morris and the Anglin brothers remains a mystery. Did they drown, or did they pull off the greatest prison escape in American history? No one knows for sure. The Maze Prison Escape, 1983. The largest prison break in British history, HMP Maze, located in Northern Ireland, was considered one of the most secure prisons in Europe. Built to house members of paramilitary groups during the Troubles, it was a high-security prison with armed guards, watchtowers, and heavy fortifications. It was designed to be inescapable, yet in 1983, it became the site of the biggest prison escape in UK history, when 38 Provisional Irish Republican Army, IRA, prisoners pulled off an audacious breakout. The IRA prisoners, who considered themselves political prisoners rather than criminals, had been planning the escape for months. They managed to smuggle 6 handguns into the prison, though to this day, It is unknown how they did it. The escape plan was set in motion on September 25th, 1983. During a scheduled meal delivery, the prisoners launched a coordinated attack, overpowering guards and taking control of H Block 7. They held prison officers hostage, using the smuggled weapons to ensure their cooperation. Once in control of the block, the prisoners donned stolen guard uniforms and used fake identification to make their way toward the main gate. Their plan was to hijack a food delivery truck, which they had previously identified as the perfect escape vehicle. As they approached the main gate, the plan began to fall apart. A guard became suspicious, realizing that something was off. In a desperate bid to keep the plan moving, the prisoners opened fire, leading to a chaotic gunfight between escapees and prison guards. Amid the gunfire and confusion, 38 IRA prisoners managed to break through the gates and escape into the surrounding countryside. In the aftermath, a massive manhunt was launched. Within a few days, 19 escapees were recaptured, but the remaining fugitives vanished into the underground IRA network. Some fled to other countries, while others continued operating within the IRA for years before being arrested again. The Maze prison break was a severe embarrassment for the British government and led to major security changes in UK prisons. However, for the IRA, it was seen as one of their greatest victories, proving that even the most secure prison in Britain was not impenetrable. The Great Escape from Stalag Luft 3, 1944. The most daring POW escape of World War II. During World War II, Stalag Luft 3 was a high-security German prisoner of war camp designed to house captured Allied airmen. The Germans built it with one goal in mind: to prevent escapes. The camp's sandy soil made tunneling difficult. The barracks were raised off the ground to expose digging, and microphones were installed underground to detect movement. However, despite these precautions, a group of Allied prisoners devised one of the most elaborate escape plans ever attempted. The plan, led by squadron leader Roger Bushell, aimed to dig 3 separate tunnels, codenamed Tom, Dick, and Harry, to increase their chances of success. The tunnels had to be 30 feet underground to avoid detection, and more than 300 feet long to extend beyond the prison's perimeter. The prisoners worked in complete secrecy. They built wooden support beams, ventilation systems, and even rail carts to transport soil. They forged fake documents, sewed disguises, and carefully rationed food to sustain the escapees once they broke free. On March 24th, 1944, the escape began, but problems quickly arose. The tunnel emerged short of the forest cover, exposing the men to potential discovery. Additionally, a collapse in the tunnel caused delays, allowing only 76 of the 200 planned escapees to break out before the tunnel was discovered. The aftermath was brutal. 73 of the 76 escapees were recaptured, and 50 were executed on Hitler's direct orders. The event became a symbol of Allied bravery, inspiring the famous film The Great Escape, immortalizing the men who risked their lives in the name of freedom. Their actions may not have won the war, but they proved that even the most secure prisons could not crush the human will to escape.